How did you do that?
I simply became one with the tree.
Oh! Okay! In that case, you think you could elaborate?
You know, when I was just a little Drake, gnawing at the corners of his blanket and napping half the day away, one of the few movies I remember watching a lot, or at least habitually, was Balto. It was an entertaining little adventure that just happened to contain child-sized coffins and talks of sickness killing people. Otherwise completely serviceable entertainment, even if it's about as historically accurate as, well, most people's understanding of the true story of Balto. I fondly remember it, and through those proverbial rose-tinted shades, it was a memorable part of my earliest childhood. So, with such sentiment attached, I must be nervous about tearing into this movie, right? Sure, because liking the first movie when I was still jamming the triangle into the square space means I'm going to give this fucking thing a pass. To hell with that sentimental, doughy-eyed child inside. So, about 5 years after Balto had already left theaters, we got a sequel. From a company hoping to milk the name for what little profit they can, came Balto 2, Wolf Quest. Where the first movie was meant to be a dramatized retelling of the story, as wrong as it was, it at least made for an entertaining and exciting adventure on its own, with some weight and moderately okay characterization. This movie? Well, we'll talk about that. We open on a dream sequence as Balto is in the middle of a recurring nightmare featuring a raven and a mysterious pack of shadowy wolves. After a rude awakening, Balto and Boris...
Ah! This just a dream is keeping you from a decent sleep. And if your eyes get any droopier, you'll have to keep them open with toothpicks.
Ow, my ears. Did his voice get more grating since the last movie? Well, he's here for a bit, so I'm not going to keep harping on it, but I'm going to let you know right now how his performance makes me feel. Ow! Balto and Boris are headed to see Jenna, Balto's girlfriend from the last movie, when they come to pass a horrible CGI totem pole, which marks the shortcut to her owner's house, and Boris stresses to us and Balto the significance of the totem pole, while Balto shrugs off everything his friend says because who the fuck cares what he says? It's Boris. So let me take a moment here to address something. The CGI in this is bad. Most of it is awful, and you wonder why with such a downsized budget they chose to computer generate so much shit. At least in the dream sequences I can get behind it because it's a dream, it's allowed to look out of place, but this will scar your children. On their way into town, a yappy little dog named, yeah, I'm sure he was in the last movie and has a name, but I'm gonna call you Mike. So Mike tells Balto that the stork has landed, and they rush to see Jenna, who just had 6 little puppies, 5 of whom are red like Jenna, and one who is, well, girl Balto. Also, Balto got laid. Good job, man. After a short time skip, the pups have all gotten older, and at about 8 weeks old, though Balto is sad to let go, he and Jenna agree it's time for them to all find homes. I know it's probably just a dog thing, and this is made clear by Balto not being as willing to let them all go as Jenna, and they also understand that letting them go to homes like this will let them live long, happy, healthy lives, but damn does this hit hard. Losing your kids is hard, man. I'm not even going to make a joke about it. So, while moping about losing them, Balto notices that the one wolf-like pup, named Lou, is howling. He's concerned this means humans won't want to adopt her since she looks so much like a wolf, and regrettably he's right, as the next day puppies are all taken by children to new homes, all except poor Lou, who's taken in by Balto because she can't seem to find a home. Another time Skip and Lou is all grown up, playing with the 2 polar bears from the last movie and being babysat by Boris, even though Balto's right fucking there. Stellar fathering there, Balto. Apparently, Lou still has high hopes she'll be adopted, as Balto hasn't told her anything about himself or her being part wolf. However, when a hunter takes aim at Lou, she's saved right before getting her head blown apart by Balto, the bears, and oh my god, shut up. So, Balto has to come clean about Lou's ancestry and her past. Now, this is where I thought things would get interesting. So far, we've got a decent relationship between Balto and his daughter, introducing this conflict about identity and making use of a simplistic story and setting to deal with real issues that many kids and even adults still do. Where they belong. I thought maybe they're going to do something with Lou accepting who she is, but learning that she doesn't need to be owned by someone to feel special, nor to let what she is affect who she is or what she does. You know, like a middle finger to Destiny stories maybe? And maybe Balto will learn how to let go of her, another painful but necessary lesson again for adults and kids, realizing that her leaving the village to find herself is what's best? I don't know. Something like that crossed my mind and it got me really excited to see if it's something they might actually do, but again, expectations are my fault because it's here where the movie starts to decline and get weird. We'll get to that though. So, Lou reacts to the script at a table read and they left her audio in.
I hate you!
And she runs off to find a better story. Balto, meanwhile, just calls after her once and doesn't chase her or go looking for her. He just falls asleep. Again, just really top-notch parenting here, dude. Here, Balto has another weird dream. This time, though, he's running alongside caribou on floating ice platforms, and a disembodied voice sets up some kind of lesson based on the animals on the totem pole outside of town.
The fox, the cunning trickster, the wolverine, your fears, the bear, inner knowing, caribou, life.
Okay, so this is Balto's quest now, I guess. As he wakes, the two polar bears, whose names I'm too lazy to remember or research, come by looking for Alu. However, they can't seem to find her. So, Balto runs off to see if Alu stayed with her mother to...
Oh no, I wish we had a mum too.
We gonna follow that up? No? Jesus, that's just depressing for the sake of depressing. And no, we never get a follow-up on that. Your comedic punching bags are just orphans now. Deal with it. You're trying to make me like them, aren't you? Think I'll have sympathy for them if they're orphans movie? No. Fuck you. I still want them dead. I just lose some sleep over it now. But no more than a week of it. Balto reaches Jenna's only to find that Alu isn't there. He then comes clean to her about telling Alu the truth and promises to find her. Telling Jenna to stay here. Really? I mean, she could be anywhere, so maybe an extra set of paws would be helpful? No? Alright. So Balto goes off to search for Alu. And now we enter that part of the movie. I mean, it's not as bad as later on, but this is our first glimpse into what makes me tilt my head the most. The magical elements. I mean, seriously, magical dreams, dream visions, spirit animals. This is fucking Balto, guys. But the black raven from his dreams leads Balto to a fox caught in a snare, conveniently sitting atop a fallen tree hanging over a raging river. I'm pretty sure there isn't a better example of an obvious trap than this. And of course, Balto lets the fox loose, making her promise to help him find his daughter, but she knocks him off into the water, implying that the raven spoke to her. And so Balto is down the river without a spirit and is soon swept away by the strong current. Then we...
What are you Meshuggah bears doing?
Oh, fuck me with a razor blade, it's you guys. Look, I think we've more than filled our quota for comedic side characters interrupting the story with their unfunny shit. Can you three just go away now, please?
Balto!
It's Alu. Boris, I've got Alu's trail. Go back and tell Jenna not to worry.
Oh, thank you, Balto, thank you. So I'm not sure what pushing Balto down the river was meant to be a metaphor for, because if it wasn't supposed to symbolize something, then we just spent all that time with the fox and thinking Balto was dead while his annoying comrades looked for him, and the only change is Balto has found Jenna's scent. Did we really need him to do all that? Seems like we're burning a lot of time here, movie. So, Balto chases after Alu once again. Boris goes back to tell Jennifer not to help at all because cliches are fun, and we awkwardly fade into...
Your fears.
I have no reason to fight the Wolverine clan.
He's looking for his daughter.
And he's following a raven. A raven? Why not a fox? Or did she outwit you?
Subtlety being taken out back, shot with an overpowered firearm, and left to bleed out in the shroud of night like a dog. Wonderful. So, in case the totem pole, whispering voices, and red eyes weren't enough to clue you in, these are the representation of Balto's fears. His fears of letting go of his daughter, I think. But yeah, okay, if this is how we're going to handle Balto's fear of losing his child or whatever this is supposed to represent, I'm going to retract what I said about my expectations earlier. This movie just shouldn't have been made. After admitting his fear for his daughter's safety and demanding the Badgers move, they disappear, and this is it. The first of many times this movie starts making you really scratch your head, rewatch the first film, and say, what the actual balls? Magic is officially real, and wolves do have prophetic visions. This is canon in the Balto universe now. After that, we finally see what Alu's been up to, and yes, sir, she ran away all right. Why up the side of a very large mountain, I'm not sure. Luckily, the raven comes to her and leads her into a cave where she hears a comforting sound. Rob Paulsen's singing. Forgot to mention, since I didn't count the song earlier because it was tonally appropriate music, this is the first of two songs characters actually sing in the entire movie. Yes, because on top of the heavy-handed symbolism and the feelings this movie gives you like what the fuck is even going on, the movie decided it wanted to be a musical as well. I'm just overjoyed. Is this a game? Let's see how much crap we can jam into this thing before it becomes so disorienting. Kids worry their moms slipped something into their Kool-Aid before sticking them in front of the tube to watch this trash? Because if so, I don't want to play anymore. So the mouse, named Maru, tells Alu she shouldn't be ashamed of who she is because that's not what matters in life. It's what she's destined for that matters, and what she is has very little effect on any of that. We'll come back to this. After this, Alu leaves, running into a bear on the way out. This is meant to be the third trial, and so right before it can knock her off a cliff, Balto arrives to save her. Alu sees into the bear's eyes and pushes her father off to his death, following after. Suicide. A tragic end, but at least the movie's— oh, no, there was a ledge. Great. Balto is rightfully baffled at how Alu could have possibly seen the ledge right below them, but it's not basic peripheral vision or possibly having seen it on her way up here. No, she's just psychic.
I looked at the bear. No, I looked at his thoughts, and I saw it.
I can see the future!
Balto is unrealistically chill about this. I guess having vague dreams and visions of ravens softened him to the idea, but still, if I ever found out my daughter was psychic, I'd have some kind of reaction. Like any. Alu expresses to Balto her desire to continue following the raven and wandering to find out who she is, and Balto decides to come along with her, and the two set off, being led to the ocean by the raven. Now, if I told you that here, at the fucking 45-minute mark, we're introduced to 4 new characters and many more are on the way, would you believe me?
You think that could be them, Sumac?
What do you think, Snook?
I don't think. I just did.
What are you waiting for? Get them!
Look, I admit this movie's felt a little weightless so far, but are we really going to try to shoehorn in a cliche bad guy? Didn't we already have the trials? Couldn't we, have a final 4th one? Or maybe at least keep the focus on the father-daughter relationship in need of some more attention?
And start worrying about us!
Okay, sure, we can roll with this. Balto and Alu are attacked by this steel knockoff named Niju, but are saved by Nava, their pack leader. Also, let me just gush for a minute because Niju is voiced by Mark Hamill, and that always gets a thumbs up from me. Even if the lines he's reading are so boring they're like the verbalized equivalent of cardboard, he makes them sound so much more important and cool. I mean, it's not a great performance, but it takes good writing to make a great voice actor shine, so I don't blame him at all here. Niju won't back down, and so Nava uses some mystic communication to tell a nearby whale to blast Niju with water. So we've now got 2 psychics and magic in this movie following up a simple tale of courage and heart. Nava invites them in as visitors, much to Niju's dismay, revealing that he's the one who sent the raven and dreams to Balto to bring them both here. At a meeting, Nava tells everyone that the caribou will not return to the valley this year, as he has seen it in a dream vision, and they must leave their land to find more food. This angers Niju, who wishes to remain here where they are. He challenges Nava's leadership, thinking his visions are nonsense, and his age has made him a weak leader, and God, I don't care. I just don't care. This movie has, barely 20 minutes left. Movie, you're nearly over. 70% of your runtime gone, and you're just now getting into these characters, their motivations, and trying to trick us into thinking Balto is the one who has to fix all this mess? Yeah, see, the old fuck says in these visions he's been having, he's seen someone guiding the starving pack to food that isn't him, and we're supposed to think it's Balto.
And we must be led by one who is wolf and does not know.
Huh?
Papa?
God, if only in that vision they hadn't played the pronoun game, or at least gave you a gender. Darn spirits. Always padding the runtime. Hold up, shouldn't they know it's not Balto? He knows who and what he is. It's his daughter who doesn't. God help me, I'm questioning the character's logic now. I'm giving this thing too much credit. So anyway, let's speedrun this. Niju is fed up listening to Nava and goes to attack him, but he wasn't prepared for Nava's disappearing act.
I will be a leader who does not depend on foolish dreams.
Those who will.
Follow me.
How did you do that?
I simply became one with the tree.
Oh dear God, this is Balto 2. This wolf just fused with a fucking tree, and once again, Balto and Alu are just accepting it. I mean, vanishing badgers, ravens, and seeing other people's thoughts are weird, I'll admit, but literal, actual fucking magic might deserve more than whatever the fuck face you're making here. While Balto discusses leading the pack to Caribou with the guy who took tree hugging to the highest level, Nava has a vision that both confirms she's the one who will lead them, shattering that oh-so-thick tension about who might it be, and getting the answer to Balto's question of how exactly he's going to lead them all to the Caribou.
I had these dreams, but I don't...
Sure, it's this. I'll roll with it. Balto and Alu fight because Balto won't lead them and thinks they should go home because it's not their job, he says. Later, Alu finds Nava and I guess sings a song with him?
The only truth we can really know is that everything will change.
Wonderful. Then it's the next day. Balto has had a sudden change of heart overnight, saying he'll lead them all to food. Once again, Niju protests, trying to rally everyone against Balto and Alu, only for everyone to believe Nava's visions and, by extension, Balto's leadership, when platforms of ice all come together out of nowhere, forming a path to the promised land in the distance. Alu explains what all this means and helps Balto get everyone to hop across the platforms, while Niju refuses to follow and demands others stay, to no avail. However, Nava, with the most whatever I'm in Balto Two-Face I've ever seen, is separated from the rest of the pack, sent adrift. Alu goes after him, but upon joining Nava, guess who comes for some revenge? So Balto shows up, fighting off Niju and telling him if he wants to lead, then here's his chance. Niju won't though, because he's loyal to his land, saying that he could never leave, and he swims back to the beach. Meanwhile, the pack is drifting further and further away, leaderless and without direction. Balto says he'll go lead them, but after Alu protests, saying she'll go instead, Nava confirms that it is she who is one who is poorly written, and she goes off swimming for the iceberg to lead this group of practical strangers for the rest of her life. Wait, I know nobody is shocked or anything by it being her, but if it was Alu all along, then why the fuck did this old man drag Balto into this? He wasn't going to find her after she ran off without your help, and the bear was only there as part of Balto's quest, so she would have been fine if Balto had never been a part of it. It seems like you could have stowed the weird dreams away, left Balto out, and nothing would have changed. After returning to the shore, realizing that he possibly killed his daughter, who he also just found out was psychic, as well as that magic is real, spirits in the afterlife maybe as well, and that he was probably just accidentally roped into all this because his contribution was little more than a distraction in the end, Balto is met with one last mindfuck.
Huh. Now what?
My son.
Goodbye to you too, Mother.
Yep, goodbye, Mom. Keep away from the rest of my kids, you crazy bitch. So, judging this movie not as a sequel involving a character meant to be based off of a real dog and a true fascinating event in history, what did I think? This movie has a lot of time wasted at the beginning, so by the end the wolf pack and its characters feel tacked on, resulting in a rushed ending. The main characters are okay, I guess, but they suffer and become somewhat uninteresting because the story is so poorly paced and, frankly, it's kind of boring overall. The songs also aren't really any good. The opening one is tolerable, the one in the middle by Rob Paulsen is the best, but it's still not very memorable, and the last one doesn't even count as singing, but it's got interesting ideas, I guess. The magical and spiritual elements. Look, let's just say I have the fullest respect for Native American culture, and actually I find it kind of fascinating, but why is it in this movie? Yes, I'm breaking the rule here a little, but for real, why in this movie? I can't separate them because this was made to capitalize on the name Balto, and it's got psychics, magic, and spirit animals. Also, about the visions and the symbolism and stuff. They're about as deep as a puddle of piss and as subtle as a shotgun for a housefly. I didn't expect masterful work, but it's annoying that most of the messages are told, not shown, and what little of it they attempt to shroud in mystery is done pretty poorly. All in all, this one was just a sloppy, thrown-together movie. I'm not saying some passion wasn't put in, because the attempt at the spiritual stuff, while different and not very well-fitting, are ambitious enough. But it's the quality of the film I'm looking at, not the effort. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. And were there some? Yes, the idea for the message is good, the animation could be a lot worse, I guess, but overall, it's just kind of sloppily put together and not well handled. I'd like to also quickly cover a criticism that I have, and it's a little more biased. This one is a little more personal, and you're absolutely welcome to disagree, but I want to get my opinion out there. I'm not attacking any faiths or beliefs or what have you. This is just what I think. Throughout the film, Alu feels this strong calling. She's already different because she's more wolf in appearance than dog, and she hates that, more so when she finds out about what she really is. So to me, this movie was her coming to terms with and embracing her wolf ancestry and finding her way in the world. I agree, you should be happy with yourself, but toward the end she feels it's her destiny to lead this pack of wolves, and frankly, I think this is a bit of a dangerous message. See, with this message, the spiritualism and the magic included in this film muddy the waters a bit, making it seem that destiny is the answer to a common question plenty of real people have. The movie tries to make the very true point that what you are doesn't affect who you are. But what does? The film's answer? Destiny. Destiny decides, along with the spirits. No, I'm sorry, but that's a harmful message. If you're religious, that's absolutely fine, but that does not define you. Just as what you are shouldn't matter, what you believe in is only a small piece of the whole. Your likes, dislikes, personality, and many other factors are important in defining yourself. This movie treats Alu's destiny not just as a plot point or a simple quest she must undergo, but as what she was born for, her entire point of existence. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, and I obviously completely respect your opinion if you disagree, because this is really personal and a bit biased, but this is what I got from the movie's message, and I don't agree at all. I just want to tell you that you shouldn't feel like you're ever destined for something, good or bad. Most times you can control your fate, and you should never feel like who you are is as simple as what you believe, because you are so much more than that. You're a person, not just a number. you're in charge of your destiny, and regardless of faith, race, or whatever, you're more than what you are or what you believe in. There, now that I've brought down the entire review, let's end this on a happy note. Balto 2 sucks, but at least it's over. Oh, you have got to be fucking kidding me!